I would like us to talk a little bit about the industry in general. I've been really fortunate of recent to speak to quite a few female Canadian directors.
Ooh, that's nice.
I know. It was on my wish list, actually.
They're all my friends. There aren't very many of us.
I'm like, I think even too many boys. I would like to speak to the girls for now. My question to them, which is the same to you, is I'm like a cheerleader. I'm like, hey, we do so great in Canada for female directors, and you don't get that anywhere else. And I speak to both of them, and they say, yeah, but we got a long way to go. And I think that's quite interesting, seeing a bit of a divide between television and the film industry. Now you have the experience of both, so I was really intrigued to see what your thoughts of it were. How are we doing, and you know, what is your perspective of it?
Well, I often say if I had more time, that would be something I would lobby about in Ottawa, but I've spread myself pretty thin now. I think in feature films, I believe it's the same in the United States, that if you have a movie or if you have a good story or a good script and a feature film, it's kind of easier, I think. I mean, here, we don't have big budgets, so I'm sure if you look at the number of films that are directed, the large budget American films by women, it's a very, very small percentage. But if you're talking about independent film where you're not looking to make money when you shoot it, then I think they say, oh, sure, okay, go ahead. Now, government, I think, telefilm is pretty good with female directors. There's a lot of, at the DGC Awards, I was just there on Saturday night, a lot of women won.
Yeah.
I think most women, mainly women, right, won. Television is, I'm very lucky, touch wood, I direct a lot of television. It was hard for me, though, to get onto the 1 hour shows. I had to start out in the kids shows and the half-hour shows, and now I do all the big shows. I'm Murdoch Mysteries, Republic of Doyle, Lost Girl. But it's hard, and often I'm the only woman on the slate that year. So there's 13 episodes, and I'll do one or two. It's getting better. I think it is getting better. And one show I did. Bloodletting and Miraculous Cures, there were three of us. There was Rachel Talalay, Kari Scotland, and myself. And Eric Kenwell, I think, was the token male on that one. But usually it's absolutely the other way around.
I like that. Let's coin that phrase, the token male.
But I do think because it's such government funding and everything that I believe there should be 50% of women.
Now, why do you think it is that way? Because I really do think it is quite female-friendly, our industry. So is it just that women are not kind of taking that up as much as they should be, or I don't know.
I think so. I think that it's a boys' club.
It is. It is.
It is. It's a boys' club. Even though there are a lot of women producers, I still don't think they hire that many women. I don't know. I just think it's something that hasn't been cracked. And if you look at Parliament, how many women are in Parliament? You look at many things. I think that it's sad to think that in 2013, also 2014, it's still the issue.
Something worth lobbying for.
Yeah, something worth lobbying for, right? Yeah, it is. But again, I'm lucky that I am so busy.
Do you see where the industry could improve, or what are we doing right, or what could we improve on in the Canadian film industry in general?
Oh my God, that's a big question.
I know.
I think we're all in a cultural revolution right now with the internet, and I think things are changing. That's why I want to do the web series. I don't know how that's going to translate into film, but it's all changing. I mean, if you look at, I forget where I just read this. It said, what's more comfortable, sitting in a large dark room with a bunch of people that you don't know, because of the history of it and the tradition of it, or being comfortable sitting in your house with a large screen TV, watching films that way. And many people are doing films that are going directly to, whatever, Netflix or video on demand. And I think it's all completely changing. And I think the large budget Hollywood films are good. And then the low budget films like my film, which I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think we're lucky in this country that we do have government funding, but there are the problems that come with that as well. And how do you make a great movie? No, I don't think anybody knows the answer to that. Because if they did, that's they'd all be great movies, right? I don't know. And how to change a Canadian industry? I I don't know. I mean, it's a huge problem because we're so close to America, but that problem's worldwide. So all the American films are the ones that open. But what we need to change, I figured it out now. We definitely need to do like they did with music, just force theaters to screen Canadian films. A percentage of them, a large percentage of them, they have to block out that time. Because my film will play at the Carlton, and it's guaranteed a week. Yeah. But if more people come, it might get a 2-week holdover, you know.
And that's Toronto. That's very very, you know, centralized into one location. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And people in Calgary will be nagging. I get it on the Canadian Film Review all the time. When am I going to see this? How do I get it?
Yeah, how do I see it? How do you see it? Because they don't make as much money, right? So and also the problem with the distributors and the theaters all being under the umbrella of North America rather than having our own. So that's a government issue that needs to be changed, and they need to say this: you have to have a certain number of like TV shows.